Hi, my name's Veronica, and today I'm doing the 7 Deadly Sins tag. I was tagged like 3 or 4 months ago or something crazy by Mandy from Oh It's Mandy. I'm finally getting around to doing this video, so thank you so much, Mandy, for tagging me, and I'm sorry that it's taken me so long to do it. But why don't we just get started? The first sin on our list is greed. And for that, I wasn't sure if it was asking for my most expensive book and my least expensive book or what, but that's what I went with. So for my most expensive book, believe it or not, We Were Liars by Eloch, it was probably around $20 or so. My least expensive book, I don't have one in particular, just any books that I bought at Goodwill are normally about 50 cents if they're paperback books. The second sin on our list is wrath, and it asks for an author that you have a love-hate relationship with. And you all probably know the answer to this since I talk about my love-hate relationship with this author quite frequently, and that is Jodi Picoult. She is an adult author. She does a lot of like courtroom dramas, but she has some books that are centered around other things too. Like, I like this story, but I just hate all of the characters so much that it's sometimes difficult for me to read. The third sin is gluttony, and it asks for a book that you have devoured over and over again shamelessly. This answer is probably pretty obvious. I'm going to have to go with the Harry Potter series, not just a book, the whole series. I've read all of them multiple times. The one I've read the most, though, is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I'm going to show you this copy instead because this one really sums up the which book have you devoured. Here's the spine, it's bent. Here's some pages if you want them. The spine is actually taped up there, it's completely broken off. It's only taped on, that's the only reason it's on. The front, it's all bent and torn, and I don't know if you can see just flipping through there, but I've highlighted all in it. I've devoured this. I tally in the front how many times I've read them, and this one I've read 5 times. So, the Harry Potter series, definitely, but this one is the one that I have devoured the most. Our fourth sin is sloth, and it's a book that you have avoided simply because you're lazy. You might have noticed this one missing on my shelf since it takes up half the shelf right here. Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. Here's the side, here's the other side. In comparison to my shelf, it won't even stand up on this shelf. Our fifth sin is pride, and it asks for a book that you talk about in order to make yourself sound intelligent. I don't really do that intentionally a lot. I don't normally talk about books to make myself sound intelligent. I've done a lot of research and just read a lot about the life of F. Scott Fitzgerald and also the life of Ernest Hemingway. And so I talk about them all the time, like they're my best friends. I just talk about them. And so people just assume that I've read like everything they've ever written and I'm just this huge fanatic. But in all honesty, I've read one book by Scott Fitzgerald and I've not read anything by Ernest Hemingway. But the way I speak about them makes me sound like I have, which in turn makes me sound more intelligent. Our sixth sin is lust, and it asks for attributes that I find attractive in male characters. And I will say, I was thinking about my favorite male characters, and the attributes that I found in common are all attributes that I don't look for in human boys. It's basically the opposite of what I look for in human boys. Characteristics that I came up with that all of my fictional boyfriends have in common are basically bad boy qualities. I like guys that are just kind of brooding and a little mysterious, you know, you don't quite know everything that's up with them. They have a little bit to hide. I also like them kind of hard and not super willing to love. Like they're not super gushy and they're not pouring their heart out all the time. They're not only hard to love, but they have a hard time loving. I really like that in characters, not in real life. You better be telling me all the time that you love me. But in characters, I like it when they have a hard time loving, but then they meet the girl, and it's like, it just becomes so much easier for them. And also when they are loving, it's just even more swoon-worthy because it was so hard for them to love in the first place. Our seventh and final sin is envy, and it asks for a book that you would like to receive as a gift. The only kind of books, well, of course I want the books that are already on my to-want list, but I also really, really, really want hardcovers in everything. So that's all for this tag. I hope that you enjoyed watching it. Please leave me a comment below telling me your answers to these questions, or make a video response and let me know that you posted it so that I can see it and see what you have to say, because everybody's going to have different answers. But the people that I specifically tag, because I specifically want them to do this, are Jacqueline from J Book Lover, Karina E, and Jordan from Nerds Like Us 97. Alright, I'll see you in my next video. I love you guys. Bye!